we're here. Yes, I'm Karen Skacel, CEO of Skacel Collection.
I'm Shirley Rose, the creative director.
And what we are going to do now is narrow down from 12 contestants down to 3.
It's a sad day.
Yeah, who are going to be the final 3 and come up with a, 3 projects, which they'll have due, which will be then judged at Vogue Knitting Live in New York. So they've got about 10 weeks or something, but it's over the holidays.
So yeah.
But this is the hardest part, is trying to narrow down who the top 3 are. So this whole time that we've been doing our challenges, we have been keeping a tally of their numerical scores. Each time a judge is judging for us, they take down the components, or what do we call them? That
judging factors.
The judging factors that they were being judged on for that round, and they applied a score anywhere from 0 to 10. And then we usually had 4 or 5 different components that they were being judged on, and we've been keeping track of the scores all on. And the top people in our scores are, let's see here, who we have here. We've got Lauren Riker, John Ravet, Tracy Purtscher, Rachel Henry, Talitha, and Terri. Those are our top 6. And not necessarily in that order, but those are our top 6. So what we've got to do is we've got to narrow those top 6 down to 3. And that's going to be a really hard thing to do.
They're also different.
They are really different, and of course Sorelli and I have differences in opinion too. So so why don't we start by, is there anyone who you really feel absolutely should go, that you feel really strongly about?
Well, out of that 6,
yes.
And I think as much as she's had some issues with, workmanship and inconsistency, I have been really excited with Tracy's work, and we know now that she has won
another challenge.
She's won 3 of the challenges, and that's pretty hard to ignore. And I just want to see more from her. I want to see what some more time gives her. I think if she has more time to breathe and stretch out and not be so under the gun, and I want to see what she comes up with, because she has surprised me. And I'm a voracious follower of the knitting world, and I've been in it for almost a decade now, and professionally, and I have seen a lot, and she has shown me things that I have not seen, and that is pretty darn cool. So I want to see more from her. And Benjamin, her cat.
Her cat.
Yes. Maybe a cat sweater.
Well, and I mean, I agree with you in a lot of areas with Tracy, but I will say her inconsistencies have really scared me, because as I've said before, is if we were actually eliminating people, round 1, I would have eliminated her. So she has been hot and cold.
Yes.
I mean, in my opinion, very hot and cold. Right. It's if I had to choose one at the moment that I really want to see more of, I don't know if I could choose one. I would have to choose 2.
Okay.
And that would be, I really want to see more from Lauren Riker, and I want to see more from John Ravet. And both of them, I think, to me, have extremely strong design aesthetics. When their pieces come in, if I haven't watched their videos, which frequently I don't watch the videos till after the pieces come in, I can still pick what are their pieces, because I know their designs. I will say on this last piece, though, Lauren's was a little bit different than what she's done in the past, but if you look at the workmanship and everything, I would have somehow guessed. John's is definitely John's. I mean, but I think they know who they are and what they're designing for. That's my opinion. I also think they both have extremely good workmanship. There's some things of John's that I think were overworked, obviously.
Remember at the beginning when there were edgings, and I mean,
true.
It took time to get to a place of...
I'm one of the few people who liked his first sweater, though.
The very first sweater,
which had all the different stitch patterns and colors, and
well, I didn't really care for a yarn choice on that one. I thought it was
the mix.
Yeah, and then remember the 3 additional pieces, the hat, and there was a scarf that went with it. I mean, it's taken time to get to a place of admiration, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's not to say we're not all growing all the time and getting better and improving. And
some of the other top ones that we had were Talitha. What do we think of Talitha?
It's difficult for me because I know out of everyone here, she's already publishing. She's been publishing actually concurrently to this contest. we're published alongside each other in the same magazine sometimes. So it's been interesting to look at that and to wonder, you know, does she really need us? Does she need a boost? And of course, any visibility
Is that
good.
what we're about?
No, and what can she gain from us? I don't know that I've seen her blossom under our if we're going to say tutelage or mentorship. I don't know that I've seen blossoming happen, and I think she's stayed steadfast.
Actually, if
in who
anything,
she is.
it's
maybe declined a little.
sort of.
Yeah,
Not
and that's
a lot, but just it
disappointing,
seems like the ones in the beginning I thought were.
And we were talking about this earlier, that even, you know, she knows who she is. You always liked her class and her cleanness, and I
She's
agree.
very classy and clean.
She's
yes.
you know, simple, and I say
She's
that
very
as a
simple
compliment.
though. She's very simple.
Yeah, and I think that's a good thing that the world does need. But when it comes right down to it, you know.
Although that vest she did out of Artfelt wasn't simple.
True, but it has clean lines, and it's you know, it's a basic
That's
silhouette,
true.
and that's not a bad thing. So I don't know. I could definitely see Talitha being one of the top three, but she's not thrilling me.
Well, okay, so if she's not thrilling you, and I mean the things that she's coming up with are beautiful, but I agree they're not thrilling. Except for I really did like that Artfelt vest.
Yeah.
I mean, all the other pieces, they were nice, they were basic, they were good, they were sellable patterns, definitely, no question about that. But is it thrilling? No.
I haven't been as happy
Not
as I
thrilling.
was with her very first piece, which was a complete win in my opinion. But everything since then has just felt
You gotta,
a little
compare it to the other ones too.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. A lot of the things that she creates are just far beyond.
They're artisan. I mean, they're
artisan.
couture. She's
Yes,
really a
it's
couturier.
it's
That's the
not.
way to say
Yes. It's not more for I think for mass production.
I don't think so either, but there's maybe a place for that. I mean, there's people who can just
definitely.
inspire and to make, you know, beautiful things. And I have a friend, a very good friend, who works at a yarn company, and she comes from the fashion world, and she's designing knitwear that she doesn't actually know how to make. I mean, she knows how to knit and purl, but she has to work very closely with a technical editor to get it to a place of being a knitwear pattern, which I think is actually, it's led to some really amazing garments because, like Steve May, who only has 6 months experience, or now a year, you don't understand what you can and can't do, and you just go for it. And I think Terri has that rebellious streak. But I also think I worry about the time. I mean, she pours every hour and I don't know that other knitters will have that available or want that. And knitting is a hobby for her. It's like an all-consuming passion, and we're catering to people who may only have an hour or two to knit. It's not. There's a disconnect.
Well, and I mean, it's sort of when she sells a pattern, if she's going to be selling patterns to yarn companies, or even selling her patterns to shops or something like that, only patterns that sell, that people want to knit, are going to be the ones, or the ones that sell the yarn, are going to be the ones that the manufacturer or the shops are going to want to reorder or have her create again. So where does that put her in that place?
Well, let's think about her Kenzie sweater, and also the sweater, the very first sweater, the Knit Your Life asymmetrical. She did a version of that was very down to earth. It was just a classic cardigan that was equally beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, more down to earth. The piece that she just did for the Challenge 6, which made it very close to the end, was very down to earth. And I think that maybe it is in there. Maybe she could be have her artistic touch, but apply it to things that are maybe a little more. But would she want to? I mean, would she want to water herself down? I think she's been vocal about no, she doesn't want to. So.
She has been very vocal about that. So okay, so the other person who's in the top 6 is Rachel Henry. So, and Rachel Henry is she's our all-American gal, I will say, and her designs. I actually got our photos here of all her designs. I mean, I think she had one flop.
I think she had one lucky,
and that was the princess one. Oh, you really think she just had one lucky one?
After all this time, I still don't know. If somebody asked me who Rachel Henry is as a designer and what she does well, I couldn't tell you, because these are all incredibly different, and there's no through line. I don't see what she excels with. I don't see what she likes to do. I don't see anything she's particularly great at. I mean, with the exception of that Intarsia. These all
writing patterns.
And writing patterns.
She's a phenomenal pattern.
Well, that counts for a lot. But with the exception of Hillcrest, which was really, a coup, I don't feel like I have any sense of her identity.
And despite the fact that we didn't, vote for Evolution, the shawl from pattern number 1, I mean, that has been downloaded. I don't know how many times. I mean, people are loving it, but it's a shawl.
It's a shawl, and shawls are king right now.
Yeah.
But also, we came down on her very hard, and I still really believe that the yarn choice and the color choice was a complete...
Well, the yarn choice was good, just the color choice.
Oh yes, the yarn choice was good.
Yeah, the color choice.
The color choice was not wise, and
because you can't see the stitch patterns as well.
And that's like basic. I mean, for me, that is design 101. So I was really disappointed by that. So yes, there is only one in that group for me that stands out, and that's Hillcrest.
See, I thought the top and the for the Art Felt Challenge for Challenge 5 was amazing.
It was nice, but it wasn't...
Winter Beach was really, really liked by everybody when we took it to the show. I know it had problems with the shoulders, but it was really liked by people.
I've seen a million sweaters like that. I'm sorry. It's nothing personal. I mean, I really think she's a fantastic knitter.
We do have 3 contestants. Do you want to announce them first?
Sure. I will announce Terri Rosenthal.
Oh, yes! Stand up, Terri. Terri, stand up. Stand up. That's fabulous job, well done. And we definitely want to see more from you and see what you have. Yes. So, and our next one is Lauren Riker. Yay! Is Lauren here? She's not here this evening, so
these are not in any particular order. So these are just the ones who ended up at the end, but they're not in an order.
no, they're not in order. So we want to see more from Lauren too. We know she can do a lot of girly things, although her last couple of things aren't. Yep. So we're really happy with that. How about number 3?
Who made that fabulous bag that we saw last? That would be Mr. John Ravet. But that was 3. That was 3. Well, we did have one tie. Do you remember when we had a tie? Yeah. We kind of had the same problem. So we're really good at arguing, but we're not
Very good at arguing.
We're going to narrow it down to 3. So we have one more.
And if you want to find out who the 4th person is, it'll be online on Monday.
At thefiberfactor.com.
Actually, this works out so coincidentally.
She was actually our first pick, our very first casting call as well. When we cast, she was one of the first ones that we all said, yeah, and
For watching them.
I would say.
It's a cute cat, but she overfeeds
Did she
them.
bring the cat?
Stand up, Tracy. And I just want to let everybody know, so we're standing in the middle here, that the fact that 3 of the 4 contestants who are going on happen to be here is just a coincidence. They just happened to say, hey, we're coming to the show, so they are here, which is really great. It's too bad that Lauren couldn't be here with us either, but she will be there in New York as well. We'll be bringing these 3 out to New York too, so you guys better save those dates in January. And we look forward to seeing more from everybody. We really appreciate the fact that you're watching the show. We're really trying to get more and more people to watch it so that we can get perhaps some funding so we can be on TV or something. So that we can get more of America to see what can be done with yarn and needles.